Welcome in to episode 10 of our Let's Play Humankind series featuring the Commons Quarter. We are doing a strat focused entirely around making Commons Quarters a central part of our build and seeing if that will be able to win a game at the top difficulty level, Humankind difficulty in the game of Humankind. We have lovingly titled this particular series Commonly Uncommon, due to the fact that myself and many other Humankind players don't really use Commons Quarters very often. We instead prefer to use the Garrison, but here we are, using a strategy that so far seems pretty good. We're doing really well. We're in turn 59 in the classical era playing as the Goths. We have just discovered the New World and should today be making landfall on it. We may actually be able to create some sort of monopoly on the New World. We haven't discovered everything yet, so let's not jump ahead of the gun, but let's get into the game. If you need to catch up on where we are at, the link in the description below will take you to episode 1, and you can catch up on all of the episodes leading up to where we are now here in the classical era. Let's jump in and see where the action will take us. We are here, of course, once again, in our capital city of Ashur. Ashur is looking pretty good. We have 21 people here now. It's growing pretty strongly. I love the structure here. We have our we're kind of on a high point with the river around, and then it drops down into the cliffs, into the water. This is a really pretty looking city. If you've been around the channel for very long, you know that I appreciate the aesthetics of this game quite a bit, and this city in particular demonstrates how you can really build something kind of pretty out of it. We'll put some walls in maybe eventually and see if that even improves the aesthetic. But because we have kind of a pyramidal structure for our main plaza, because we were playing the Assyrians when we put it in, then we ended up with Pyramid of the Sun, and we've got our Danu also from the Assyrians that I don't know, it's creating kind of a very pyramid-esque kind of look at that. Like from the administrative center, you could look down on all of this from the hill up top. I don't know, it just feels like it'd be, I would love, and I say this a lot, but I would love if, like, this is as far as I can zoom in. I would love to be able to zoom in a little further to really get like a picture of like what it looks like from the bottom of the hill up and from the top of the hill down. Like, it'd be so cool to be able to have more of a free roam camera where I could go different places. I just think you could get some really cool shots in this game if you did that, because everything is so beautiful, even on the granular level. Like, you're not meant to be able to zoom in, but I feel like even if you could zoom in, you would just notice that it's just beautiful, like from every which way, you know. Obviously, like, it's not as good at that level, but anyway, I love that part of this game. So Ashur is finishing this Obelisk of the Gods. You'll remember from last time, we actually have one production left on this, so we've actually queued up a bunch of stuff here into our tumuluses. Our goal over today's episode is going to be, let's get the tumuluses in. We want to make a few more connections. Actually, probably not our capital. Our capital's probably as connected as we're going to get it. So I think we have 4 connections here. So we got to build 4 tumuluses in the capital. Nineveh's got 3, so we got to build at least 3 here. And then depending on if we choose to attach again, we could get a 4th in Nineveh. And then Gotha is actually going to, right now, because I forgot at the end of last episode apparently. Gotha is going to attach in here, and it will also be able to build at least 3 of our tumuluses. Once our tumuluses are in, we're probably going to be thinking about when are we going to move up, right? If we jump in over here, we can see our stars are starting to come in. We've got 1 more builder star to get. We've got a few more scientist stars to get, so we're not in a huge rush to move up at this point. We want to keep collecting stars, but we're going to get there pretty quickly, especially as we hit the science stars. I don't want to be burning science. We burned a lot of science in the last era, so we want to maintain like, we're ahead essentially because of a lot of those things, so we want to maintain a lot of that we have going on in the game. So we probably want to move up without having burned too much science. We're also ahead in fame, so we don't have a need to sit in the era and collect as much fame as we normally would. If you're behind early, you might want to sit in an era just a little bit longer just to collect some more of those stars, because once you move up, those stars are never available. That fame will never be available to you again. So there are advantages to moving up early. You get access to kind of more fame per star you get, but you also, if you don't get enough stars in previous eras, that you can't really catch up unless you're sitting for a little while, in my opinion. So there's a lot of ways to do catch-up mechanisms, but we're ahead, so we actually don't need any of that. Let's attach this right away. I actually didn't see that this build came in We'll make sure really quickly that everything is in, right? This territory is an empty territory. There's no resources in it. It doesn't have access to anything. But it is a 15 food, 17 industry tile or territory, which is exactly what we're looking for, right? We want to make this city a little bit bigger and better. So we'll run this attachment right away. It costs 210. I know we don't have the cartage to reduce attachments, but we got to get to 3 at least in our cities. So we'll run this attachment right away. And now we have this claim in, which makes all of these claims cheaper to make. It would have also made this one cheaper, but there is yet another free peoples that has gone down here. So we have 4, 5 eventually total free peoples here that will be... my plan is we just fight them all. Like, we're just going to fight them all. I think what we need to do before we start those fights is claim up our land, right? We have Burley down here who's been making claims. We are currently burning down the countryside. We are burning 3 different territories right now across Burley's land. He has made weird moves. Like, this is a good move. Here you go, Burley. This is the one I've been waiting to see. There you go. You can have that one. I don't care. But the question mark becomes is when these burns come through, and they're going to come through quickly, 2 turns, 1 turn, and 1 turn. When they come through, what will that do to the relationship that we currently have with Burley? He has large-scale armies that are very potent. Like, he's got potent... Chotelays are really good. He's got potent units sitting just outside of our land. So, and we don't, right? We don't currently have an army over here. We're planning to build one, and we'll get there. But I think that the response that Burley has to us burning down a bunch of his stuff is going to be very interesting to see. If he claims down through here, like, this is fine. We've set our border here already. I am going to claim this one. I might even claim this one just for the heck of it. I don't want to overclaim because I don't want to put too many cities down here, but, you know, we're going to burn some stuff down. We're going to put some claims in. We need to get the rest of our claims in, so that's part of the plan. And then, of course, down here, we are making landfall on the next turn, and then we're going to go claim up Lake Hillier, and then also we're going to get this connected in, right? So if we get all these claims and then kind of close down our borders-ish, we might be able to have kind of free reign over the New World for a short smattering of time at least, which would be pretty helpful. So claiming land is, again, building tumuluses, I think, is kind of our focal point for this episode. So let's jump in and we'll see how things go as we end turn. We're going to get our obelisk down, and then that'll free up our cities to be able to work on some other things. All right. Research is done, and that gets us another research star, which means we're 1 research star away. We can also claim another wonder, and that was something we were debating as well. There are 2 ransacks that were successful, and those ransacks just gained us a lot of science. 179 gold, 65 science on that one, 32 science only on this one because this army was smaller. So we really want to be doing our burns with full armies as we do this, because that gets us bigger gains because we're the Goths, and it's the science bonus on ransack is 10% per unit in army of the gold gains, right? So we can get, the bigger the army, the better when we're doing these ransacks. So that's always good to do, right? Stop trade.
How do you do? In every sense of the question.
I don't want to stop trade with you. Oh, maybe I burnt down a trade route. One of these may have been a trade route that we were... Yeah, probably this one. This one probably was a connection point for trade. So that's probably what happened there. Okay, let's auto move
Alone
our
on
units.
new lands.
Hey!
Who knows what madness you may get up to?
Madness? Common madness? Thank you, Mr. Narrator, for playing right into what we're trying to do here. So we are now on... Wow, that gave us a lot of view. That's great. Cool. So we're now on the New World. So we now know for a fact this is indeed the New World. And we are prepared and ready to start getting claims in. This land is looking incredibly lush. I mean, look at this. Look at the forest. Got a +6 huge tree forest right here. I mean, there's some beautiful land right here that we'll be able to take advantage of. Again, I still think we claim and put the city in the Lake Hillier territory, and then we'll claim down here, and then we'll claim this island, and we'll get them all 3 of those attached as quickly as we can, because we'll also be able to then attach
no
in
other
this
empire can
somewhere.
match your successes. When history recalls the deeds of this era, your name will be the one that is most often cited.
I believe that's probably true. Yeah. Okay, we have a lot of stuff to do, a lot of moves to make. This guy needs to go do this. And that will also complete our kind of uncovering of the fact that There really is... Oh, this is close. So this land comes down through here, but I don't know if there'll be an easy cross point for units right here. It doesn't appear there will be. So that will, again, restrict movement from over here. Movement to the New World has to come through here right now, because until we research better technologies, three-masted ship being the primary one, you can't actually move units through that many ocean tiles, right? And so the map is playing to our favor in a great deal if we can maintain control and not have open borders with people through this portion of the map, which we have to attach this to make that happen. So we're not really doing what we want to do right now, but once it's all attached, we could actually control like unit movement for a little while anyway into the New World, which would be pretty helpful. And then we are going to put these claims in, right? Once we've burnt these down, we can go ahead and just put our claims in. So we want to figure out where our best claim spot is. Unless there's anything else to burn down. No, that one's already being burnt. Okay, so we're going to put the claim in on this. This might be the spot. It also might be right here or over here. No, that's the border. Somewhere in here might be really good, though. So we have a 516. 714 is pretty good. And we have to keep in mind the river bonuses are not there yet. So, like this, for example, is only a 2-river spot. Whereas if we run up here to this spot, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4-river spot that we're going to immediately be exploiting. And that gets less important maybe later in the game, but when you're first putting stuff down, it makes a big difference for those spots. This spot right here also actually gets us access to kind of putting a couple of districts not on river, which I also like doing because it doesn't break your river tiles. So I like this spot here, the 714. Because I think that gets us kind of more of what we want, and then we can kind of claim outward from there. So let's do that. So yeah, because down here is not great land. The good land is up here. So I'm going to go right on river here. Put that down. 193 is expensive, so you'll notice we're automatically, it's become very expensive to put these in. We're going to do the same thing here if we want this one. Do we want this one? I think we do. I think we want this particular piece of land has a nice shape to it that really sets a nice border. It's going to encroach on Plosiv's territory a little bit, which I don't love. But I think I'm going to put this claim in. I'm just going to claim all 3 of these that Burley had. We're just going to claim them. I'll leave these 2 because, again, I think we've set like a large enough border here. I don't want to be too greedy or aggressive. Because that also forces the computer to start looking to other ways to expand, so they might get more warlike, or they might push for the New World really hard if you don't give them that space, in my opinion. So I think that we want to take advantage of the fact that they currently have room to move on their own continent, and then we'll be busy on the New World doing what we want to do. So I think that's an important part of kind of what we're trying to strategize around here. Okay, we got a lot of options here again. That 1510 looks really nice, but the 1314 again gives us more river access and still some really good kind of escape points. So I think the 1314 is going to be our spot here, right? 1314 because we have multiple, that gives us 3 rivers instead of 2, and it gives us some great spots to put some initial districts based out of that. So let's go ahead and put that down. That will be in on the next turn as well. And the best part about getting, and this is something that I probably should have done earlier, because the best part about getting outposts down early is they start to generate population, right? So oftentimes you'll maybe over-generate population before you attach things, especially if you're thinking about, well, that might be a 3rd, 4th, or 5th attachment to a city. And if you're getting that far in, then you're probably not going to be attaching those for quite a while, just due to stability reasons or other things, and cost of attachments, right, of bringing them in to your cities. So then they actually end up being overpopulated. But again, it's not a huge deal because as long as that population has been generated there, right, like these are going to get 4 population in them most likely. And so you have that 4 population that you're generating early that you can then add into your cities when they're there. So it always is nice to get outposts down early just to start generating population out of them. Also, I think helps with faith because those territories, even though they're not attached, I believe those populations count as people following your faith. So you can actually increase your tenants a little bit faster too if you do that. So again, just all things to be thinking about as we're going through the game. I think I'm going to get this claim in as well. Because why not? We have 926. We're a little bit away from making our New World claims. I think I want to get this claim done as well. So let's just get this one. Let's get this one claimed. 233 now is our claim. So let's see. We've got a 710, 610. So 710 definitely is our better of the bets. There's a 712 if we go up to the north here, but that's very close to Gothiscans. That doesn't really expand our ability to build at all, which is a little bit frustrating. So I think, even though that's probably the best initial spot, it gets us 3 river. We can actually get 4 river if we go with this 710 right here. And that puts us in a pretty decent spot to be able to build some districts out from it. So I like this 710 spot quite a bit. The 610 is good as well. But let's put this one down. Allows us to build a maker's quarter here to get out into this forest and start to take advantage of some of the really good production that this particular territory offers. But also offers us the ability to get out this way and start making some maybe farmer's quarters if we need to. As well. We also then will be able to bring Halong Bay into our city, right? So Halong Bay is not like super potent or anything, but it does increase your naval combat, which is potentially going to be nice at some point. So Halong Bay, it also increases your vision and height on like your vision. Look, here's the thing. Later in the game, when there are stealth units, the vision actually becomes quite nice. Like, you actually want better vision because that increases your ability to see and detect units that are stealthing in your land, and that can become very problematic later in the game. So Halong Bay, while it might not look awesome, could potentially be very useful, just depending on the scenario. So we'll incorporate that into Gothiscans. In fact, we probably will incorporate that pretty quickly. Make that an attachment, actually, for Gothiscansta. Maybe even before the end of the era, so we can throw a tumulus in that as well. I'm thinking if we could get 4 tumuluses per city, that's like really, really good. I don't know if we'll have the influence to be able to do that. Now, we're churning through influence pretty quickly, and actually the more tumuluses we put down, the more influence we will have. So all of those are possibilities, right? Okay, let's jump out here. We'll grab this. Awesome. 40 influence, 50 influence, 40 science. That's a nice one. And then I'd like... Oh, that's a free peoples right there. Okay, so we have more free peoples over here now. And then we want this boat actually to get up here. We need to go meet some people. So I wonder if we could cross. Will we be able to cross? We will not. So we'll have to just go back on the next turn. So we'll just send him back such that we will not die. Although, this is a quad, so technically the quad can take damage, right? It doesn't insta-die. It just takes damage, so... But to keep him at full health, I mean, we might as well, get him there. Okay, this guy's going to cross all the way over. He's also going to get to start seeing some people, so we're going to manually control that envoy for just a little bit. This guy, on the other hand... There's probably a lot of... Where did all of our grievances go over here? I don't see very many of them, which is interesting, because we should have grievances. So I guess we'll just... put this guy on Auto Explorer. I actually kind of don't want to because I know Burley has been roughing up my units a little bit, and so I'm a little concerned about that. But we'll Auto Explore with him for now, and if he gets into trouble, we might have to take over those particular duties. Okay, this guy is coming to get upgraded and healed. He's actually very close to being in our territory, so we'll just cross him over here, get him into our land, where we can upgrade and then let him heal as well, which is nice. Okay, this guy, this poor guy has just been doing like little tiny recon missions, and it's just not yielding anything for him. Oh, we can upgrade him now. We need to upgrade him once we get him back there, so I'll try to remember that. All right, this horseman is now healed, so that's nice. And we can actually start making claims up here as well. I'm worried about making claims too close to this aggressive free people because they might just start burning them down. I don't really need... Where are we setting our border here? I don't really need this. This territory is not critically important to me up at the north. So these 2 territories here, I'm totally fine if Plosive takes those. There's no resources in those, so I'm fine with that. I kind of just want to claim these 3, and then all the rest of them that are free people's ones. So I'm debating whether or not we should risk pushing on this aggressive free people's by putting an outpost down. As we put some outposts down here... Let's just think about it for a little bit. There aren't resources in those territories specifically. We do have some at the very top here. So that would be something we could get eventually, but we don't have to have those right now. And so we'll hold for a little bit here. So I'm just going to let this guy sit because I don't want him to die either, right, is the big thing. Okay, Nineveh. Wait, we could get another obelisk? Oh, we got another tenant. That's right. We could put another obelisk down. I totally forgot about that. So we're only at 65 stability here with the holy site in. The Scansa is also going down. I think we need to put we need to put one of our holy sites over here is what I'm thinking. So how do we want to do that? This city has a lot of really nice territory that I don't want to like encroach on necessarily with like a holy site. But I think we could put one in like over here somewhere. Do I want to just get this in? I feel like we should just build this, honestly. I forgot that we were going to have an extra one of these. Or, ooh, I have a different idea. We're pretty far away from our next tenant. Maybe we save a holy site for our New World City. Although the New World City is going to have a colony model, and so it probably won't have any... right away, it's not going to have any major problems with stability. So I'm not overly concerned with that. But I do want to put this in if we can. Scansa is dropping to 70 and does not have a holy site. Nineveh has a holy site now, right? Right here. But it's already, 65 as well. We're at pop cap here, so we really should focus on district building or putting in other things that would be useful to them. And in fact, we actually don't even have a public fountain in here. So maybe the next step for Nineveh is to build a public fountain. We also have things that will give us slots, right? So specifically, this gets us +2 research slots, so we could actually improve our research. And then, what do these numbers look like? 3, 11. 11's not bad. And then the other one that gets us spots is the granary, right? The granary gets us 2 farmer spots, which is actually kind of big. So I feel like we should put that in. The animal barns is going to be really big for us in a little bit here when we decide to trade for all the horses that we don't currently have. Let's go granary, and then we'll go into tumulus from there. We have our tumulus in here already. And then we're going to want... Yeah, the only tumulus we can put there is off of the harbor. Oh, because they're saying that one's just better than this one. We're still operating under the assumption that these will function as commons quarters. I'm actually sincerely questioning whether they actually make the stability gains that commons quarters make based on adjacency. I don't... The text says that they count as commons quarters for bonus purposes, and I think that actually means that our placement of these has actually been kind of questionable, because surrounding the Danu and surrounding the tumulus, I don't think are actually important, because I don't think they get the same benefits that a commons quarter gets as far as surrounding them, right? Normally a commons quarter benefits from being surrounded by districts because they have those bonuses for stability, for having districts around them. I'm not actually sure that these get that bonus, and so I'm still planning them as if they do get that bonus, but I'm not actually sure that that's something they get, right? Which is kind of unfortunate. Anyway, so let's put this here. I think this is fine right here. We're gonna build out a couple of districts around that. This is a decent placement for this. So we'll get a tumulus in right up the hill here. I think it's gonna look kind of cool too. So we'll at least have one tumulus kind of structured out as well. Got the Scansta on the other hand. Can also build a tumulus. They are not in any sort of population trouble, which is why the stability issues here are slightly questionable. So let's go ahead and get that public fountain in right away. The other way we can solve our stability problems is just by meeting more people and initiating more trade for resources, right? We don't need any food here right now. We're kind of rolling in food. And so I think we could go right into tumuluses, or we could start towards this obelisk. So let's see from a faith perspective. See, Plosif's religion is encroaching heavily on what we're doing. And so I'm a little bit concerned. We just got Pyramid of the Sun in, so it hasn't really taken effect yet. I really do want to get this obelisk down. But at the same time, our tumuluses are pretty big faith generators. So I feel like we could actually probably do these tumuluses first, and then we could do the obelisk later. So let's hold on the obelisk, because we can use that for a big stability boost at some point if we need it. I think that actually probably makes more sense for us. I like this for a tumulus spot. It is next to a Danu, so that's not optimal. Like, normally we'd want to get it, like, away from that by a little bit. But I think this spot works because, well, actually, this would be a nice... This is connected, right? Yeah, these are connected. So technically we'd want to exploit this with Makers or Farmer's Quarter. But we can always just get one of those in over here. So, well, let's just put the tumulus here. I like this spot. It's not a bad location for it. It gets us good numbers, right? We can get similar numbers elsewhere. But I think the faith generation is good here. And we're also... Looks like it's exploiting... Oh, how are we getting 3... What's the 3 production coming from on this? From Empire. Okay, so it's something we have that's just Empire based. Okay. Oh, maybe because it's a religious district. And we have Abstain. Does Abstain get you... It gets you +2 industry on religious district. And then I'm getting another one from somewhere. So that's cool. It just makes our religious districts pretty potent to have that. So having picked one with that's a religious district is kind of nice, especially since our faith is kind of churning right now. Okay, Burley, did you downgrade a treaty? What's the...
To what do I owe this pleasure?
He's holding these demands. So we will also hold these demands. If he starts making these, we will probably have to make our demands to keep him from generating war support. Obviously, he's got +10 from the grievances triggered. So that's something that we're keeping an eye on very closely at this point, right? So that's fascinating. Okay, let's end turn. We get another burn in. Lake Baikal has been discovered by
So now we have the
somebody.
Huns as neighbors. Raiders on horseback. It's
we've
going
met-
to be a
we've met
challenge
somebody?
to put up with them.
We've met the Huns. We have ransacked another district. We have multiple armies that are going to be lost at sea. And I keep on getting attitudes improved with Gaiden, but I have not met Gaiden. And I'm honestly wondering if that got bugged at some point. So we have now met Icarus and cultural conversion of 2 different places. Oh, religious conversion of 2 different places. So madness is appropriately spreading. Icarus is making deals already. Let's go see where we met Icarus. Must have been in the water. Must have met him somewhere on a boat. But I don't know where that would be. He maybe met somebody else, maybe up here, and has now introduced himself to us, because I don't see him anywhere. Look at all these peaceful free peoples. It's kind of nice that they're all peaceful. All right. Let's get our units moving, and we'll walk our way through the turn.
From my people.
Icarus goes humanitarian aid immediately. I'm fine with that.
Greetings. Your
Sign it.
proposal makes good
Let's
sense. I say
Let's go
yes.
trade Luxes, even though he doesn't look like he has any.
This proposition should be in all our best interests.
Perfect. Okay. No crises. We've made all of our proposals. Doesn't look like
Your
Icarus has any
proposal
resources.
makes good sense. I say
Do we know where Icarus is located? Oh, way over here. Okay, so he definitely met us through someone else. So, okay, so Icarus may actually have... So the New World is here. Icarus is here. We don't know what happens in between here right now. So the New World could stretch pretty close to where Icarus is. So Icarus may actually have access to the New World that we don't know about. Now we were there first because we got the achievement for being there first, right? So now we'll have to figure out, we'll get there first by a long shot, or will we be... Oh, that was...
Off we go.
And that's why we move slow. This guy... I'm not going to put this claim in until later, right? So we might as well just get this guy... Just get him to the land over here, so we can start putting claims in more quickly. All right, this guy's going to come through here, and we're just going to start exploring the southern coast of this land. This island looks very nice. If this is an island, which it looks like it is, and not attached, although it could be, this could be a really cool bay, which would be really fun to see. But if this is unattached, what a cool island. Multiple resources down here, really cool land. I always like the look of stuff like that. All right, our big army has put down its attachment, and our big army now needs to go and prep for Yala Allegra. We've already attacked, and so that's one we can burn down more quickly than others. So we probably should start moving in that direction. This guy can put this claim down. Actually, you know what? Where's this claim gonna go? That's a 323, but it's not on river. We come up here for a more balanced approach, which I think is what I want to do, which actually means that our big army should actually be the one doing that. they should actually come down here and then put in the claim. And we do want to do that right away. 11.6 or 11.5. The 11.6, I mean, we're right next to our other... Maybe we should go down to this 11.5 just so that we have some distance between... Because this actually doesn't even... If we attach them, it doesn't actually do much for us. I'm going to go down here, I think. Yeah, let's do this 11.5. I mean, this one is also really good, this 8.7, because it's actually on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's actually a 6-river spot right there. Actually, I'm not opposed to that. Let's go there. I'm going to go here. This looks like it's better, but I think this 8.7 is actually more effective. That'll get this outpost in faster because we're putting it in with a larger army, I believe. So, again, we're kind of close together here, which is... it can be advantageous if you get everything connected up, to be honest. It's not a bad thing, necessarily, but also doesn't allow you to exploit as well. But we'll get a... Eventually, what we'll do is we'll get a hamlet down in here, right? Will be the goal. So, alright, so these guys can go join up with this army. We need to make our armies a bit bigger. So let's do this. Let's get them joined up. Again, we got another gold boon, and we actually have 2,000 money right now, which is really nice. And then these guys can actually go join up with this guy as well. And then we'll kind of have our two armies that can go and push a little bit, right? So let's have this guy can kind of just hang out, or we can have him explore maybe a little bit. Let's just have him sit, and then that other army will go join with him. That will be the goal. This guy's kind of just playing the look and see game. I guess we can like, let's poke. Let's see what's going on over here. I mean, he's a horseman. He might be able to defend off the... Okay, there they are. That's what we were waiting for. We almost got to the... There was a curiosity right there. So let's see who are they sending at me. 3 archers, a 3-archer army. Okay, so if we attack that with some of our horses, we could plow through some archers. We're obviously not going to fight that, so we'll retreat and head back. At aggressive free peoples, obviously taking offense to us being there. Let's go ahead and upgrade these guys. Get these guys up to horsemen. We actually have kind of a 3rd army now as well. We could add in maybe an archer or we're kind of cavalry heavy right now. So we could probably add in some non-cav units so that we have a 3rd army to be able to kind of press around here. I think that'll probably be our goal. And again, we do want to make these claims, but it does look like it's going to be very difficult to do that with this aggressive free peoples up here. Now, one solution to that would just be go attack them first and take their city, which actually, that would be a nice city. We would want to do that after we put our New World city down, because it would increase the cost of our New World city extravagantly if we took this city first. But actually might be a really good idea to send all of our... Now that our armies are not busy burning things down, because we burned 3 of Burley's territories down, now that that is done, maybe we come up here and actually take this city. Don't burn it down, and actually keep it. We actually keep Velica, because that gives us a 4th to be able to make some attachments off of. It gives us attachments here. These are all going to get burnt down eventually, because we're just going to pillage them. But this, I think, becomes our 4th city on this continent. And because they're giving us trouble, it might be a good idea to go and do that sooner rather than later, is what I'm thinking. So we might debate that. Now that we have almost 3 armies that are kind of rocking and rolling and ready to go, well, we might want to do that. We can actually, you know what? I'm going to combine these right now. And then, well, actually, if we have these guys, we can attack those archers. We win that fight if we get first attack on those archers, I think. So that might be an interesting thing to pay attention to. Okay, let's check really quickly. Crises,
A pleasure
entreaties.
to see you again.
We've got another destroyed outpost, so now we have evens on that.
I
which
would not
is
put myself in this position.
interesting. We could try for another intelligence coalition with Plosive. He's declined it.
have a
He's declined it
proposition
twice
for you.
now. So
Think
there's a
you'll like
limit. There's a limit currently to our relationship, which is kind of fascinating. 1 turn left on that. Burley, again, like, we burnt down another one of his things. We're still looking like we're sitting pretty with Burley, so... Okay, let's end turn, and we'll keep rolling.
Your empire becomes one of the giants, astride the globe. And what will you do with this power?
Good question. But we now have unlocked Commons Quarters, so This is what I was talking about in that the Danus and the Tumuluses have not been getting that +5 stability per adjacent quarter. And so that's kind of a huge downgrade on them as commons quarters, because they don't actually function like commons quarters. They just count as commons quarters for bonus purposes. We're going to take advantage of that to a great degree, but I'm also like, you know, that downgrades them pretty big. So we'll see. Maybe they all got the bonus now that we've researched commons quarters. I doubt that actually happened, but we can actually put some standard commons quarters in now, which would be kind of nice. So let's see. And we did get the world deed, so we did end up researching it first. We were the first to get imperial power. So we're pretty much cruising at this point.
Others will be after your boot designs and blister medicines.
Nice. Cassiopeia was our... oh, we forgot to look at wonders again. Who's converting to Zoroastrianism? Ooh. Zoroastrianism making a push. The religion of one Canadian moose. Sweeping in from the south. And so we're still gaining tenants, which is good. We're gaining followers. We want to push to that 4th tenant for sure. So we'll keep an eye on that, though. All right, this guy's back to his spot. He's just not having a good time, to be honest. Let's upgrade him since we have the money to do that. This guy is heading in the right direction. We want to make a claim. There's a river here, so it makes me think that we should probably get on this river. There's a curiosity we can go get with our other guy. Here's the river, so our claim is probably down here. So let's pop onto this river, and then we'll get an explore in, and then we'll get this claim in right away. Again, we don't want to get the city in until we move up to the next era. So that's kind of going to be like a little bit of a stopping point for us. When we hit that point, we won't want to put the city in until then. All right, these guys are ready to rock and roll. So we're not going to make any claims. And so we want to kind of push. I think what we do is we do push towards this. Again, we want to put our city in before we do it. And we're going to get there pretty quickly. But let's start moving our guys in that direction. All right, this boat needs to just head in this direction. We need to get him over to meet Gaiden and others. Might poke out here and see if we can cross. I don't think we can. Although, he doesn't die like a Pentaconter, so maybe we'll be surprised. This guy can sit here because we're going to take these guys. Actually cross them. We need to come all the way down. We can actually probably do a meet in the middle scenario here. Let's bring them over here, and then we'll bring this guy up. Burley's also got envoys all over the place, so we have to be concerned about his level of leverage a little bit, right? Like, does he have leverage enough to leverage counter leverage us in a leverage battle for if we get into a war? That'll be interesting to know. All right, let's go ahead and get that's fine. Get our envoy onto the other land, and these guys can now jump together, and then we can move back towards the aggressive peoples. Again, we'll have a bunch of armies. We'll have 3 armies that are almost full to go up there and do what we want to, so we should be able to handle that pretty easily. Now, the question mark will be is we have a lot of cavalry, so we may need some melee-based units to get into the city itself, right? That will be kind of our current conundrum. All right, Tumulus number 1 is in. Let's check our infrastructures really quick. We are approaching pop cap. We got 12 food. Well, let's reset this real quick. Sets. Okay. We got plenty of food. We have the ability to get more stability and more science. We don't really need more science right now. And in fact, we should probably switch our people away from science and into money at this point. Because, let's check. We actually have to pick a research, so we can actually go do this now. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are 8 turns from a move up where we'll start burning science and we'll want to get to feudalism. So where do we go with our research? But I think we can actually start slowing our research down because I think we want to spend potentially more turns than that. Let's get access to hydrology just because it gets us aqueduct and some other things that could be really useful to us, including artificial reservoirs, which is huge for food. We might want rhetoric just to get access to our theater if we want to put that in. Siege tactics also would actually be really good for us, technically speaking. In fact, man, that actually increasing our army before we do our ransacks. We're not building anything right now. Let's cancel that. Let's go to siege tactics and get that +1 army, and then we'll start making our armies even bigger so that we get better gains when we ransack. I like. Might as well take advantage of the fact that we have that ability, right? Okay, these guys are sitting pretty. Again, I don't really want to touch infrastructures unless we're okay. We have their, and we have their stability up really high now too. So we're just gonna tumulus. We'll just be tumulusing now Oh, we can build another tumulus across from this this tumulus. I don't love that. I don't love that. I think we want to do like over here for another tumulus. We don't want to, because this it's only benefiting because it's adjacent to another tumulus, and I don't want to this tile being burnt. Well, it does exploit everything, so it is just exploiting. We could put this down here. I kind of like it better out in this direction, though. I don't like stacking those tumuluses together necessarily. Right? +2 faith per adjacent district, and since the tumulus counts as a district, you're getting that bonus on that. But I don't think it's worth, like, stacking tumuluses together. We could get those gains off of other things, you know? So, let's put it up here. Interesting, like, choices, though. All right, so we got that is down, so we'll have another tumulus in. They're going in very quickly. The tumuluses are being built fast. That's because they're religious districts, right? And we have the civic in that increases our, decreases our production cost on religious districts. And since they're religious districts, we can build them for very cheap, which is actually a really, really big advantage. If you get when your emblematic district is a religious district, it's a huge advantage to be able to have that, because if you get that reduction in cost, you could build them so much faster. So let's put in some more of these here. We have the ability to put one adjacent to our Danu over here, which is kind of interesting. We also only have these spots to put it in over here, which is also adjacent to our Danu, which is not like awesome necessarily. But that's not bad. So this is not a bad spot for this, and it's probably better than any of these spots. Although this spot right here is a really, really magnificent market quarter. Yeah, see, it's saying this is the best spot, right? Because these, the artisans' quarters count essentially as districts, I believe. And so it's giving us that extra faith because there's more adjacent districts to this one. But we're getting the same bonuses if we go elsewhere. I think this should probably be a market quarter, to be honest. We could put it here, but again, this is a really great market quarter spot. So, and we're actually not exploiting this right now, right? So we're actually losing benefit. So I wonder if we should go, like, this is not the greatest tile. It would be a really nice maker's quarter right here. So I'm kind of min-maxing on tumuluses, which I probably shouldn't be. We should probably just be putting them down. But this spot would be the best spot right now to put this in, probably. And then we can build around it. Or we go up here with it. If we go up here with it, then we can put a maker's quarter here and get some nice exploits, which would be good as well. I mean, we could put maker's quarters anywhere around here, which would be good. You know what? Because these aren't functioning as... And actually, we can now officially know. We now officially know that the tumulus and the Danu count as commons quarters for bonus purposes only. They do not give the adjacency stability bonuses from districts. So our whole plan to surround our tumuluses and Danus, specifically the Danus because they don't actually have a bonus for adjacency. The tumuluses get more faith if you surround them, so that's still valuable. The Danus I don't think have that, I don't think they have a surround. And because they're not actual commons quarters, they don't get the stability bonus that you would if you surround them. So this actually makes a ton of sense. We could definitely stack tumuluses and Danus together. We can make them adjacent, and it's actually totally fine. So this spot works for me. Let's just do that. The hidden lives of cacti. All right, are we gonna burn? Are we gonna burn it? Or are we gonna speckle it? Overproductive would be nice. Plus 17 industry pushes us in the wrong direction on our axis, but it's only by 1. And this pushes us in the wrong direction on this as well. And I don't think we need this right now. So I think we'll use it as fuel. We'll push production in Gothiscansta. That's typically what I do. And then we'll rock and roll into the next turn, I believe. We'll do another quick check.
It is a pleasure indeed.
On treaties.
Come. It was not love or hate at first sight. Let's see how second sight goes.
Okay, every time we try the alliance, he declines. So let's try trade everything.
We would all benefit from growing closer.
So now we have access to all of Seamoose's resources, which is definitely good. That's a good thing.
We accept.
We have full support because we have influence over his territories, and we're a militarist currently. So, I don't think he'd declare war on us currently. So that's nice. All right. Oh, we forgot to switch our. I think we wanted to switch our towns around. I got distracted again. Forgiving heresy. Oh my gosh. So religious. We're still gaining. But man, the Plosiv's religion is making strides. And how am I supposed to know how that's happening? He's got 2 holy sites. Oh, and then he's putting in his because he is the Axumites, he's also putting in his unique district, which is also a religious district. So that's, and he's probably got his in before me. We should be able to push back on this, though. I feel like we should be. Like, there's no reason why we wouldn't be. How is this? What does the spread look like in his cities? Like, how am I impacting like his city? I don't have any impact on him currently. At least not that city. These ones are impacting on the edges. We're getting impact too. But look at the generation he's getting out of these. Oh my gosh. He's getting so much faith generated. 16? And it's producing 17? We're producing 39, but only impacting by 12? I don't understand how that works. If you somehow have magically solved how religion works, let me know in the comments. I've been back and forth with people who play this game a lot on how the heck this works, and I don't think any of us have actually figured it out. It's one of the more frustrating, I think, components of the game.
So,
okay.
tell me.
We still didn't check
Shall we
wonders.
become
You remember we were
close?
going to check wonders? Oh, Seamus wants an alliance now. Okay,
We
but
will
here's the thing.
reflect
If we
on
make
it.
an alliance with him, we can't hold the New World via having non-open borders. Like currently, right? He doesn't have open borders. And that's not doing anything for us right now, but it could do something for us later. I'm just not sure how valuable would that be for us to be in an alliance. How about this? We'll leave it up to chance. If he has 1,000 gold, he can pay me for an alliance.
I can go for that, if you might be a little more considerate.
Once again, you show how inadequate you are.
Hey! Hey! That was rude.
Blessings on you.
Joseph wants an arms
Your
deal.
proposal makes
Absolutely.
good
I'm
sense.
totally fine with
I
that.
say
Let's do it.
yes.
Oh, man. It's funny. There's the AI gets
It's one
pretty
of those
insulting.
moments that make you feel like a small thing on a wondrous planet.
Vesuvius? +10 faith on main plaza, +1 influence per territory under the region's under the religion's influence. Man, we could make good use of Vesuvius. So that is very nice, and it's gonna be in the same city. Our opening city on the New World. We're gonna connect all this in. Our opening city on the New World is going to be a monstrosity. Is my hope. When we get all these claims in, that's gonna be lovely. Okay, I think we just ride north. I'm gonna leave this Assyrian Raider in this army. We're technically 3 turns from expanding our army by another slot, in which case we can add in another unit to this army, but I think we let's push the northern city with what we have, is my current line. But man, we're gonna have to push, we're gonna push hard and we're gonna push fast, because we have just cavalry just sprinting around, we can move so quickly. And these guys are going to draw out that archer army again. I don't want to draw them out. Let's sit right here where we can see. They're somewhere in here, right? Yeah, okay, here they come. Oh, they're going to come out and attack us. Oh, I don't know if I want to take this fight, because if he gets opening shots, the problem with this is he gets opening shots with his archers, and then all of a sudden I'm fighting at a disadvantage. If I get opening shots with my horsemen, and then the battle's done. So I'm going to retreat this again. We'll wait till we have reinforcements, and maybe I can try to sneak like where we're attacking instead of he's attacking. I just need a good viewpoint. Maybe from over here, we get a better view of things. All right, were we going to try this? I think I want to. I think I want to try to cross here. Okay, there is a border right there that we can get into. I think we're going to cross him anyway. All right, our envoy is going to make landfall, and we'll move him in like one more before we turn him loose. Still can't see anything though. This guy's just been in the water for a long time. I feel bad for him, kind of. Oh, we're free to move around in here a little bit. So we're gonna meet people anyway with this guy. I'm gonna give him one more move in, and then we'll just put him on open explore. All right, we're gonna ignore that for now and go get our claim. And our claim, when we move in over here, I might want to jump up here real quick. I don't think there's gonna be anything up here. Like there's not a river or anything. So I think our claim is gonna be right up in here somewhere. Possibly even right there or right here. Either of those would work, right? Actually, this is probably the spot is right here on river. Yeah, that's an 18, sorry, a 15-8. And that's a 15-8 on a nice ridge overlooking the valley. And we also have nice build points from there, both this direction for farmers' quarters and this direction for makers' quarters. So that's a nice little spot right there. 19-4 for food there. We can get access to that food by putting a farmer's quarter there. So let's get this outpost in. Let's make our first claim. We might as well, right? There we go. Our first claim on the New World. Oh, it's a nice looking territory too. Nice spread. I like that. And then we'll come in with this guy. We won't make claims. This is going to be the only claim we make for now. And then we'll set up for this claim and this claim as soon as we make that a city, right? Because we'll make that a city. It will make these two claims much cheaper, and we'll save on some influence in that way. As long as no one else like jumps on the New World. If we see someone jumping on, we'll just put the claims in. I mean, we have influence to spare. Okay. Let's keep putting in our tumuluses. I think that still holds the most value for us. I like this spot right here is probably the spot, right? And we build out around it. Again, we don't need to build out around it. Oh, the tumuluses, sorry. The tumuluses we do actually want to build out around. I think this is a nice spot for it, so we'll go there. That actually will be all of our tumuluses in this city, which makes me think we should run this attachment and get Halong Bay in and put one more down. So we'll think about that on the next turn. Hidden Lines of Cacti 2. We burnt the cactuses. And now it happens to be nice smelling. So we can celebrate and get some stability that pushes us more in the direction of that we want on the order axis. We could increase our faith generation, which actually that's not a bad idea right now. Plus 25 faith generation on district is not a horrible thing. Or we can take more production, which actually feels well. It wouldn't stack, right? We have overproduction already. And this would just reset the timer on that. It doesn't stack it. Honestly, maybe we push faith a little bit. I'm actually very tempted to push faith. I almost never do this, but I think for the purposes of grabbing tenants, I think we limit it and we throw this doesn't matter to us particularly. Doesn't change anything for us right now. And we have tons of science generation. We're not worried about that. So I'm gonna actually push faith a little bit. Let's do that. So now Gothascanza has both overproductive for 9 more turns, right? That would have reset back to 10. And it's fanatical. So we're pushing 25% more faith out of our districts here, which is nice. In fact, it almost makes me want to put in like an obelisk of the gods there just for the sake of it. Okay. Let's check wonders really quick. So here's what I'm debating. The mausoleum. I was hoping maybe mausoleum has been taken. So Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion is huge for faith generation. If we were struggling on faith generation, which we're kind of on the borderline of, but I think we're going to be fine. Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion is just a big food generator, which is really nice. It also is huge on stability. Colosseum is really only good if you're like constantly going to war, essentially. And we're not. If we would have picked the Romans, Colosseum would have definitely been our play. It would have been themed nicely for that too. Moz is my tempting play. And I'm tempted because +2 science per district on city or outpost is pretty big if you put it in your capital city, because your capital city usually ends up being pretty district heavy, and it usually ends up being your biggest city. It also gets you +2 influence per adjacent district, which again functions, that almost feels like a commons quarter, kind of, in a way. It only gets you 20 stability, and here's my thing. This already costs us 1,000 to claim, which means the next wonder would cost us even more to claim. When we move into the next era, there are a couple of wonders that become very optimal. And I think that we actually hold. I'm not going to grab Moz on the thought that, A, it spends all of our influence, and we're about to try to put a city in within the next several turns anyway. And B, because I want access to better wonders, I think. So we're not going to do Moz right now. It also means we have to build Moz before we can put in any of the wonders from the next era on those claims. So I think I'll hold on Moz for now. All right, let's do one more turn. Crawling along oh so slowly. There's a Builder Star, which we like. Gothascanda's growing in pop. We're exploring still. Oh, a big war has been declared. Huge game changer. Burley has declared war on Plosif, and now may be our opportunity to hinder Burley a little bit. We have grievances available. Our ally is in need of reinforcements. He's gonna crush that. He's gonna crush this fight. Fascinating. Fascinating. So Burley declares the war. It's kind of something we've possibly been waiting for. Burley decides not to go to war with me and instead goes to war with Plosif. And now we get to see between a grudge match. This is going to be armies slamming against armies. I mean, Burley is set. Burley looks to have some big armies, and Burley also has those Shotalai, which are really potent. Plosif's got Agaushes from the previous era, which is not bad, but Burley does not have a lot of horses, so it's actually not super advantageous. We'll see. It looks like this is the... We know both these people, so this is the armies. Plosif's got this and this. Burley's got this and that. So they're pretty evenly matched. Burley looks to have an edge unit-wise. Oh, Burley has a second army down here. That makes a little bit of an... Oh, and Plosif does as well. Okay, interesting. So they actually... So here these armies match each other, and then Burley has a slight advantage over here. Fascinating. Fascinating. Okay. These guys are up here now. Let's go grab this to start with. Increase our coffers a little bit. We'll move units in this direction. Get these guys on river. We'll get these guys on river too. Okay, we can't. It's fine. All right, this guy is off and away discovering things. We'll have to have him sit right here anyway to see, because we'll have to poke here. He's not upgraded, so he's still a Pentaconter, which is kind of a limiting factor there for us. And these guys need to play a game of catch-up. Can't quite get there, so that's fine. They're going to go head to the north as well. I'm going to risk this guy's life. Uh-oh. That's not good. Okay, we can get over there on the next turn, so we're going to take this much damage, and then we'll be able to save ourselves, but... There, okay. So I'm going to set this guy to auto-explore now. Oh my gosh, look at the movement. All right, so he's just going to go collect and explore. We'll probably meet a bunch of people that way as well in that land, so that's nice. This guy's got his claim in, so he can now go... Oh, can I upgrade him now? This is still take 3 turns to upgrade. So we'll have him grab this. That will also get some exploration done over here, which is not a bad thing. The New World is looking very nice. New World looking very nice. All right, tumuluses are the way of the game currently for us. We need to get all of our tumuluses in. So we have to debate between putting a tumulus down here. Now, that's a market quarter spot for sure. That spot specifically. But the problem over here is that it's not really going to get surrounded by more districts necessarily. Like, this is going to be a district, yes. And like, eventually, I think. But I think this would get it surrounded by districts faster if we stick it down here. So I'm going to put it down here for this one, I think. We get 7 food by putting it up there. How? Where is 7 food coming from right here? It's giving me food off of the desert tiles? How? Oh! Is it because I have +1 food on Commons Quarter? It's somehow that makes it exploit food? So this becomes much more valuable to put it up here then. Fascinating. All right, let's get our cities building our quarters, and then we'll call it an episode. This is the last spot for this. Oh, no, we can put it up here. So we either go adjacent to our harbor, which is where it wants us to go, or we can go... Yeah, this is all on river. These are all... The problem is you're burning resources by putting it up here. I like... Yeah, like this spot right here actually makes a lot of sense, because we could market quarter up to here and then kind of put other quarters around it. Maybe even more market quarters. I don't mind that at all, actually. Any of these works. Like this. Actually, this one would get us more surround, right? Let's put it here. Put it right. Okay. Tumulus is in there. Gotha is also ready to build something, and they actually could now put in the obelisk, which, again, I think is the play for them. Just put it out here. It allows us to build out this way a little more. Maybe I'll put it up here. Right there, maybe. Because this is a nice, like, quarter of some sort. Stick it way up here. Still gets the bonuses from the tumulus, so we'll put the obelisk right there. That'll be our obelisk for the city of Gotha. They actually don't need a ton of stability, but we're kind of sitting pretty in all of our cities right now. Cool. Okay. Get that done. Perfect! That will take us to the end of our episode for today. I know we didn't get very far yet again. You're probably not surprised at this point. But thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully you're enjoying our series. We'll be back at it again next week. So again, if you like the content, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications on so you know when we release the videos in this series. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.